found out when we were working hard on Unsung, essentially, we wanted to build a decentralized identity mechanism for refugees in Europe. And when we actually went out to try to find the talent of someone to actually build this system for us, we had a really hard problem. And I'm pretty well known in the blockchain space. I've been in Bitcoin since 2010, and I know, hands down, know most of the best developers in the world. And I went to talk to them and said, hey, we want to build this system. Can you help? And they said, Jason, this is a great idea. We'd love to help. But I have a job right now, and I have like 6 projects lined up behind the job I'm working on currently. So I went down the line to the next person, the next person, the next person, and realized that this is a massive, massive problem that's facing our whole industry. So when you watch today all of the different talks, each individual talk, it might not speak directly to you, but I promise you that what I'm going to talk about right now is going to affect each and every one of you in this room. So it's just this simple. The demand for blockchain developers far exceeds supply. So last year, the whole industry, we raised about $498 million. And of that, ICOs represented about $239 million, so roughly 50%, 48% of all money raised. This year, and this slide is actually already outdated, this year we've raised about $2.1 billion, and of that, ICOs is $1.7 billion. You know, as someone who's been in Bitcoin since Bitcoin was around a $30 million market cap, this is insane. But hidden in this beautiful number is something that people aren't understanding at the scale it is. And it's this. When we surveyed 200 Fortune 500 executives, 188 of those 200 said that they had plans to implement blockchain technologies at their companies. And that should be really great news. But this little sliver here is the problem. Only 12 of them were confident they could find the engineering talent to actually build that out. And this is why currently, for every qualified blockchain engineer on the face of the earth, there are 14 available jobs for him. Think about that. We raised $2.1 billion to build this future, but truthfully, who's going to be building out that future? And it gets worse. We want to grow this industry out 16x over the next 7 years. This is what we're projected to grow. So we're at a 14x deficit right now, and over the next 7 years, we plan on having a 16x growth. So if someone doesn't come in and fix this issue, what are we going to do as an industry? What's going to happen to these dreams and this future that we're trying to build if we don't focus down on building something to train more blockchain engineers currently? And so the blockchain ecosystem has been slow to train new developers. And it's pretty simple why. Because everyone is so highly in demand, if you're a blockchain engineer, you're in production 100% of the time. You get paid a whole lot of money to work on these projects. So currently, no one is stopping to train the next generation of blockchain devs. And this is a problem worldwide. And there's also been a lack of industry standards for education and certification. So what's the solution? So this is something that friends and I worked really hard on trying to figure out. And we think that we've come up with something. A few months ago, we partnered with Kingsland University in Atlanta, Georgia, which is a Southern Association of Colleges and Schools fully accredited United States university. And what we did is we convinced them that we are going to stand up Academy School of Blockchain. So what we're announcing today at this conference is the first US fully accredited school for blockchain development. We're going to spearhead right into the root of our problem, which is that we need 10,000 developers yesterday. That's the problem, right? You laugh, but that's the issue, is that we have nowhere near the talent we need. So what we are planning on doing is devoting a large amount of resources and mustering our own talents into generating this next generation of blockchain engineers. So our first product, which we will be launching in Q1 of next year, is we're going to be launching deep, immersive, think bootcamp style classes, 4 to 6 weeks, where we take existing software engineers and we train them up on blockchain best practices. So we stick a developer in, and a blockchain developer comes out. And yeah, they won't be senior blockchain developers, but man, is that a great test bed to start with. If you think about it right now, everyone who puts the name blockchain next to developer or engineer or systems technician or anything like that, just everyone in the world that just has the name blockchain there, not even giving any qualifications of whether they're a good blockchain developer, there's about 5,000 of them on the face of the earth. To put that in perspective, as total software developers on Earth, there are 18.5 million total software developers on Earth. And so cryptocurrency is this little tiny piece of the pie. We've really got to work on fixing that. So starting in Q1 of next year, we're going to be doing fully immersive boot camps to start working on this problem. Concurrently, oh, well, my slides changed out. No, they're not. Awesome. The people building this cutting-edge curriculum are some of the best players in the ecosystem. Mr. Craig Sellers, who's actually our partner, he's right against the wall right there. Everybody give Craig a round of applause. Craig Sellers has built some of the core technologies that we all use. Tether, Omni, Vatomic, BlockV, that's Craig. Stephen Dack, CryptoKit, Ethereum, Dan Larimer, BitShares, EOS, Steemit, and Gabe Kerman from RSK Rootstock Labs. These are the people that built the technologies themselves, and they're actually working directly with us to make sure that we don't miss a step in training people on how to use these technologies. Concurrently with our bootcamp products, we're going to have cutting-edge, state-of-the-art digital classroom experiences so that we can also teach people online, and we will be creating the world's largest repository of blockchain educational resources, a lot of which will be free to the community because it's important that we give back. I was one of the founding members of the Blockchain Education Network's board of directors, and so blockchain education has been very important to me. So along with a lot of paid curriculum, we will be creating a huge repository of resources for education on people that are interested in learning technology in the blockchain. So this just goes through our accreditation process. Kingsland University is accredited by the Southern Association of Colleges and States. In the United States, there are 7 accrediting bodies. This is the Southeast. So any college that's accredited in Florida or Georgia or Alabama, Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, this is the accrediting body of it. That's who it is. And something that's unique to what we're doing that no one else can offer is in the United States, we have access to what are called Title IV and Title IX funding. Title IV is the free financial aid for student assistance program. So that is the billions and billions of dollars the US government has set aside for educational assistance. For the first time ever, people will be able to utilize those benefits for blockchain education. And Title IX funding is all of the Veterans Administration. So that's fun. So any veteran that is using what we call the Montgomery GI Bill or tuition assistance programs from the Veterans Administration could actually use that for blockchain education. And also, our school has a SCORM-compliant learning management software system. And what that means is that the curriculum that we develop can actually be syndicated out to other universities. So what we realized is this is a huge issue, is that the reason that these classes aren't showing up en masse at other schools is that they have bureaucratic systems that actually determine what they can teach. And it's a lot of times a multi-year process to actually get that done before they can actually offer a course. As an accredited university on a SCORM-compliant system, we can actually create the course and then syndicate it out pretty much to all accredited universities worldwide. And so we've already started the process of doing just that. Also, another key component of this is, like we said, we're solving our own problem. So we want to do career placement for all of our graduates and making sure that our graduates find successful, fruitful places within the ecosystem. And also, along with that, we'll be working with human resource services directly with blockchain companies so that we're actually keeping a good pulse on what their needs are and what the requirements that they see for their human resource services going forward, and then adjusting our curriculum going from that point. Now, when I start talking about this school to anyone in private, people start talking about, what's the team? The team is deep, and this isn't even the best thing that we have. So we have Jinglin Wang from NASDAQ, Mo Levin, who's actually the co-founder of this, is our founder. Alex Lightman, who's down here in a corner, is our newest advisor. He's a great guy. John Souza, I think John just walked in the door. John Souza is actually the founder of Kingsland University. Matter of fact, here's the deal. Kingsland University, fully accredited United States University. John Souza is actually the man with the vision that realized that standing up this school of blockchain was so imperative for the industry. So if we can actually get a round of applause for John right now. Brock Pierce, myself, Michael Quinn. Michael is a former SEC special prosecutor. He's heading up our legal team. And why do we need an SEC special prosecutor? Well, of course, there's got to be an Academy token. This would be the second thing that people ask us right after they ask us about our team. So we will be doing a token launch that will be coming out later on this year. We don't have all of the specifics for it just yet, but we do have a token mechanics model. What we intend on doing is we will take Academy tokens for tuition, and we will also take them for human resources and career service placement fees at our college. Any token that comes in that Kingsland utilizes, we will burn 70% of it immediately. And then we will put 15% of it into a dedicated scholarship fund to help train those people that don't have the resources to actually go to school. And then another 15% of it will go into a dedicated community development fund. And with that, we're going to use a node system similar to how the Dash Masternode system works, but we're calling them advisory nodes. So if you have a set number of Academy tokens, you can actually create a proposal, and that proposal can weigh in on what you think our electives should be taught there. Because we have an ever-evolving ecosystem here, and blockchain is constantly changing. So this is a good way for us to keep the pulse on the industry as a whole as to what curriculum we should be using going forward. And that's pretty much everything to talk about the Academy School of Blockchain. Thanks for having me.